Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus www.radioangelus.com. This program is sponsored by Safe Life Experience Concerts Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events. Welcome to the Conversation with Augustus, and today we are at Santa Maggiore, one of the four major basilicas of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. And as you can see, seated right beside me or in front of me is a cantor. And in the Catholic Church, a cantor is someone who sings in the church. My guest today is called Davide Gentile. Did I get it correct?
Yes, in this basilica, I received my baptism here.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Davide Maria. The second name is Maria for the church.
Okay.
It's for the name of the Virgin.
Okay. Sure. Before the Gentile.
Gentile is my name.
Oh, okay. Maria. A man with the name Maria. Why?
The second name is using in Europe. So, from ancient times, noblemen used the second name.
Oh.
Especially Maria as a sort of devotion to the Virgin. For me, as because I received the baptism here during the 1987, it was the year of Mary, the Marian year. And so, and my mother, for example, in January of 1987, was giving birth in here. Quite yes.
Wow.
Right.
So then the name
so
Maria
yes,
actually
a particular relationship with this basilica, as like a sort of home.
For how long have you been singing?
It's 29 years. I started since I was a child, 5 years old.
Wow.
And I started in the school, elementary school, and with the school of Santa Maggiore, as a traditional school that was the first school of formation for puerorum, of Cantor childs, the singer. So, long time ago, the school of Santa Maria teach a lot of boys that sing in here, because during the centuries a lot of child sang in Santa Maria Maggiore until maybe the 1970s. It's the first school in Rome that prepare single boys that then became single boys in the Cappella Sistina.
Okay. That's so interesting, because I thought it was only the Archbishop of Canterbury who has a cantor group. Not knowing even the Pope also has a cantor group.
Yeah,
So this
but is history. If you read history about this world, you will find every basilica or an important church around Europe that have a school of Verorum, school of singers. In ancient time were clerics, and in the future maybe priests. Now is another world. So child that grow up with music, and maybe they become professionals in other type of maybe opera, maybe in the professional choir, or teachers music, or other way that God give them. So if you read the history of the Cantors, of pueri cantores in Europe, you will find them in Canterbury, and St. Paul, and London, Westminster, Rome, Cappella Sistina. Ancient times, also here, there was a great school of Puerorum, and Giovanni Pierluigi da Palestrina was a puer cantor in here. The first school of Giovanni Pierluigi da Palestrina, the priest of music, was here in Santa Maria Maggiore. And other, Notre Dame, Bruges, and others.
So my first time of coming to Mass here was, I think, some years back, but just last year during the Easter Sunday, before the Palm Sunday, I came for Holy Mass, and then before Mass began, you mounted the pulpit, and then you took the congregation through the Psalms. So I sat down and I heard the voice. I said, wow, can I ever sing like that? Because I love music, but I don't think my voice is so good to sing as the way you take the congregation through the responsorial psalm before it is recited or sung during the Holy Mass. For you, as a man, as a man who sings to glorify God, how does this mean to you?
It's my life. I didn't choose my destiny. It was God to choose His destiny for me. I didn't choose. The spiritual father of my family was a Magister Puerorum in Cappella Sistina. Padre Raffaele Prete, of the order Servi di Maria. Serviti, we say it in Italian. Was famous. He's a famous musician, music teacher, and exorcist. One of the 7 exorcists.
Wow.
And he grew me up, and gave me the formation to be a cantor for all my life. So my life is based to be a cantor. Then, during my life, I visited other places, other repertoires, opera, Baroque music, Renaissance music. In the sacred music, we have a lot of Baroque and Renaissance. It's the classic sacred music from Palestrina, da Vittorio Morales, and then with the orchestra, we have Vivaldi, Bach, Handel. But for our tradition, we have the Gregorian chant. I'm studying nowadays Gregorian chant and singing at the Pontificio Istituto di Musica Sacra in Roma. We have the responsibility to develop our formation. So we have to study a lot every day for all life. We can't stop. Well, so I practiced opera. I practiced. I make a lot of concerts nowadays for Baroque music, Renaissance music. For example, I'm a singer for the Embassy of France après de Saint-Siege, the embassy of France in the Holy See, in the Holy See. The Cappella Ludovicea is the name of the ensemble, coro orchestra of the Cappella Ludovicea, directed by Master de Brandebourg. And we sing a lot of French music from the Renaissance period to the 18th century. Also 19th century, of course. But I prefer my life of Cantor. I prefer to live like the Cantors of the King David. Yes, and the same name also.
Yes, of course.
I know there's a particular with my life. There is a lot of particular facts about my life. But yes.
Most of the books in the Bible, most of the Psalms
in
the Bible.
In the origin, the King David chose these Cantors, 7, one for every tribe, no? And a famous singer of the 18th century, Andrea Adami da Bolsena, that was singer in here in Santa Maria Maggiore, and he wrote that the origin of the Cantors in Europe and the world is the 7 Cantors, the 7 singers of the David in the time of Jerusalem. If you read the Psalms, all the Psalms, King David wrote a lot of this. You can read to the chief musician.
To the chief musician?
Yes, there is a master, a director.
Which Psalm is that?
This is 31. In you, O Lord, I put my trust. As one of the psalms he wrote. So you can read. There is a choir. There is a master of the choir, a chief musician. Nowadays we have a maestro di cappella, is the director of the choir. No?
Yeah.
And we have famous directors in history. Palestrina is the first prince of music. We have Scarlatti, Alessandro, or Domenico Scarlatti. Also Johann Sebastian Bach. The Cantor, who is the electric key. There's 2 Deutsch. Cantor was master of the Thomanerkirche Kapelle, of the choir of this church. Ipsia and the other Köthen and other places in Germany. So there's my life is sing to be this. I can't do everything.
So we'll continue with the conversation, but at this moment he's going to give us one of his favorite psalms. He's going to sing one for us.
Well, I can sing for you a little Comunio in Gregorian chant. Is the Comunio of the next Sunday. The text is Panem de cielo dedisti nobis. You, O Lord, gave us the bread from the heaven. Okay. I sang this 2 weeks ago in Assisi during the master class of Gregorian chant. In Gregorian chant, we have an association, international ISGRE, the International Association of Gregorian Chant Studies. So we had a master class in Assisi with our president, Professor Giovanni Conti. He teaches in Lugano in Switzerland. And we sang this. Panem de cielo, dedisti nobis Domine, habentem omne delectamentum, et omnem saporem suae vidadis. Well, it's an example of Gregorian chant as a little example.
That's so beautiful with a voice. And what does it take to have that beautiful voice of yours, if I want to have that kind of sensational, angelic voice of yours, what must I do?
What about my voice? My voice is a gift by God. So I have to use in the right way. So I have to study how to use it for every repertoire I sing. I will sing Gregorian chanting in the way you listen. Is another way, other form of singing, like the opera or the period of Renaissance, Baroque, polyphony. So I have to modulate, because I don't know if I have to adapt my voice to every element of singing, to everything I sing. With Cantors have to study a lot. Or, for example, out of Gregorian, it's too difficult singing the Gregorian chant. Like the melody, the Byzantine, the Oriental chant is very difficult. And so, we have to start. My life is a life of wonderful sacrifice, wonderful devotion. But I'm happy to do this. Because it's part of me.
But is there any food that you don't eat to make sure that you keep your voice? Because sometimes
I'm not a doctor, but I studied about the voice generally, physiology of the voice, the structure of all parts of the voice. So every man, every woman is a person and has this type of voice, and so have to use his voice like this, the personality. It's difficult to explain to me in English, but for example, I can eat spicy foods and have no problem. Another person has a singular way to life, singular way to eat. So maybe spicy food is not good for him, or coffee is good for him and not for me, or tobacco is not good for me, or it's good for other people. We have this unicity of people, of persons.
Yeah, because I've seen this somewhere that if you want to have a good voice, you take honey, mix with cold water, and then a lemon or so.
Yes, we have methods of something we can see the basic food we can use, but is good for every man, single or not. Honey and lemon and hot water, or honey and milk. But some people, for example, can drink milk, so use water or tea. And yes, honey is a good food for singer, because as a lot of particular, for example, we can say, and in Italian I say anti-infiammatorio or emolliente. It's anti-inflammatory, yes.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, okay. It's good for all voice. Yes, all from the mouth onto the throat.
Okay.
Maybe also for the chest, for respiration.
Because I also heard sometimes you don't sing from just the voice, but it comes from your stomach.
Yes, so
that's where
diaphragm. No, we use a lot of diaphragm. So we have rules for singing. For example, a lot of people use not he before singing. Usually, singing in church and for concert, before the concert, I don't eat. I prefer don't eat because eating, I feel myself heavy.
Heavy,
Just,
yeah.
Other people, for example, a friend of mine is a singer at the Teatro dell'Opera di Roma, is near the city. Used to eat about 300 grams of pasta.
300 grams of pasta?
Just pasta. With a little bit of olive oil, but 300 grams. It's a lot for me.
And he's able to sing and he's okay, nothing.
This, my friend, is very big. It's bigger than me. It's a great tenor. It's a great lyric tenor.
You are a lay person and you are a cantor. In the olden days, it was just for a group of people, priests or clergy.
Yes, I'm like all life. I'm not a priest. I'm not a clerk. I'm not a deacon. There's no normal person.
No more person.
That works like a cantor. And I have a normal life. For example, I practice sports. I have a girlfriend. I have studied also other during the high school. For example, I studied classical studies. So nowadays I study Greek and Latin in other university around Rome. For example, and my professor is also my friend is a teacher of Latin in Università Salesiana, Pontificia Università Salesiana. And I studied political science in Rome. I practice, for example, historical fencing. It is, wow, you are a cantor, you are inside the church and practice a martial art. Yes, because during the centuries, we have people during the, for example, Renaissance period, it was musician and was soldiers.
Oh, okay.
For example, was soldiers.
Doing too.
Or artist that was fencers. Like Caravaggio. Was painter, but a fencer, a duelist.
Wow.
Yes.
I never knew that about him.
Yeah, particular life. His life of Caravaggio is like his painting.
Because that's what it we will.
Light and shadows.
Oh.
The light of the painter, of the artist, and the part of shadow, his character is particular. Vasari or other people describe it like a sort of monster. Yes, a monster. It's a sort of bipolarism. Yes, you have a passion for art, you have a passion for the duel, for the sword. We have also singers that use the sword during his life. Cristobal de Morales, Spanish, more Latin, no?
Yeah.
This Latin character. So they was speaking in a taverna, osteria is a sort of bar, no? Or pub, and at a duel, maybe for the alcohol, the tobacco they drank, no?
So with your type of music, you being a cantor, do we have types of cantor music, which you do? You are a cantor,
yeah.
But do you have types of music apart from the psalms you sing?
Yes, apart the sacred music, I practice a lot of Baroque music or Renaissance music in other ensemble around.
Can you give us a rendition of one of the Renaissance music?
What?
A Renaissance music. Can you give us a bit of it? Just sing one or two lines of head.
There was a composer in Rome during the Renaissance period, Girolamo Gamsberger. It was called Il Tedesco della Tiorba. The German of the Tiorbo is a great instrument like the lute. If you know,
Yeah.
it's bigger. No? There was a song wonderful. Tu dormi, anima mia.
but it's so beautiful. The way it sounds, it goes smooth.
Yes, it's another way to sing the Renaissance music, respect the lyrica,
Okay.
yes, or medieval music. There are other aspects. Is sort of particular aspect of the way to sing. There were rules to sing something about something of music. The trillo, the mordente, it was different during the Renaissance, a difference in Baroque, and different during the Romanticism.
Okay.
There were a lot of people write about music, about how to sing. Toti, Monteverdi, Caccini, Peri, composers, the rules for the way to sing.
Okay.
The school, the first school is during the Renaissance, the first school of singing.
So you've been singing for 29 years now. What has been the most difficult or challenge that has ever confronted you? Have you ever had any challenge being a cantor?
Well, the first challenge is be a cantor in these days. It's the first great challenge.
Does it pay?
Because it's difficult because we have a world that is less spiritual, more material. This world prefer a theater, maybe, respect a church or a liturgy. And there is also the problem that the modern times, this modern period, don't give to the certain music the important role that sacred music have. That sacred music has.
Okay.
So we have to we have this great challenge at first. Then there are other types of challenge, personal challenge for the range of singing. is more acuto. For example, I'm a baritone.
Okay.
There is something is too high for me, so I have to study a lot the triple to sing this high note, this high phrase is a personal challenge. And there is this challenge, the challenge of the times, of nowadays. How our cantor has to live these days. There is, I think we can take again our role in liturgy. It depends on the priests. It depends on the model of church. So it is a very deep argument.
Very, yeah. Once we start, we won't finish.
Yeah.
Davide Maria Gentile, and we have been talking to him about his ministry or his vocation in the Holy Roman Catholic Church. He's a cantor, and a cantor basically means someone who sings sacred music at Mass or Holy Mass. David, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you too. Hello everybody, and excuse me for my English.
But it's perfect.
Usually I speak Italian or Latin. English, a little bit of English and French.
Oh, okay.
So, excuse me for my English.
It's perfect. But before we go, can you sing an Ave Maria for us to end this interview?
Ave Maria,
See.
from Gregorian Cantors, the battle, I think.
Okay.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae.
Adios.
Bye.
Right, thanks so much.
Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus www.radioangelus.com.
This program was sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.